APMvideo.com is on the air, and today we're coming to you from Tempe Diablo Stadium in Tempe, Arizona for the 36th Annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. The South Bay Zephyrs are on the air. They'll be taking on the Sacramento Rays, and I'm Jeff Lowry, APM Video Sports. It's a beautiful day for baseball. Temperatures currently in the low 70s. Antone Henley, the longtime manager of the Zephyrs, they've won 5 national championships here with the Msbl and several others with the NABA and other tournaments. They're fresh off a championship in Vegas with the National Adult Baseball Association. So they're coming in here maybe a little bit tired, but they got their ace on the mound here, and that's MVP Pete Cesario, and I had a chance to talk to him before the game today at Tempe.
Back here in good old Tempe, playing on the stadium game, which I'll be pitching today, and I'm excited about that because it's been a while since. Well, last year I pitched in the Sun game. Everything in my eyes that we went, I think, extra innings to come back and win, and so here we are again. This is the Zephyrs team, Antone Henley's team. And it's the 60s, and on the first game it was a close game almost the whole game, went back and forth, but we wound up losing by 2 runs. We did have the tying runs on base, but it was a competitive game, so we did good, and we're looking forward to trying to make up for it here and come back and start winning the rest of the games. We got a good enough team to do it, so we're excited to be here. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you back here with us and taping the game. It's going to be fun because I love sharing these things with my family and friends and stuff. So anyway, I'm happy to be here.
Are you excited about being back here in this tournament?
I'm excited being back for the last 40 years. So yes, today's even more exciting.
And Jack Vecchio, the movie star,
yes,
amongst us.
Movie actor.
Oh,
movie actor.
And I'm glad to be back here again. This is my 30th year. 30th year, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
This is like
Happy
heaven.
Anniversary.
Baseball heaven, man.
Yeah.
And Augie's my partner in crime.
Did they just give you a ring?
Huh?
Did you at least get a ring out of this?
Yeah, they called me. They rang me up.
They rang you. There you go.
Yeah. Hello, Hollywood. We'll see you on the other side.
Hey,
Let's
you know
get
what?
ourselves
I'm
a win.
still on strike. The strike guild I'm still on strike, so I can't really do a whole lot, but hey, thank you very much.
Right?
I'm honored to be here. Blessed.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. The Zephyrs getting set to go here in search of their 6th national championship. And they'll be taking on a tough competitor, a workhorse in Rene Hernandez. Well, if you're ready now, the starting lineups for the South Bay Zephyrs leading things off will be Augie Alonso. He'll be followed by Pete Cesario and Wayne Williams. Hitting in the 4th spot, Donnie Knoll. Ron Martin doing the catching, batting in the number 5 spot with Chris Means 6. Blaine Olson 7, John Neary 8. Rod Decker is 9. Gaston Escudero is the number 10 hitter. And Jack Vecchio will be the final hitter in the lineup here for the Zephyrs. So we're ready to go. We're underway. Augie Alonso, who has been traditionally a good leadoff hitter for whatever team he is playing for. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes is Augie Alonso for the South Bay Zephyrs with their new colors, the dark blue and black. Infield playing fairly straight away, though, kind of guarding the lines a little bit. Very shallow in center field. 60 and over tournament, Cactus Division, and a called strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Augie Alonso, starting pitcher, MVP Cesario, and the former minor leaguer Wayne Williams, a product of the Philadelphia Phillies organization way back in the day. And now the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike on Augie Alonso, trying to get things going here. And a high pop-up right side, and this one's going to drop in for a base hit, and that's how this game gets started. So Augie does what Augie does, and that is to get on base. He bloops one down the right field line. We got a very blustery day here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. And now the slimmed down Pete Cesario, looking really good. 69 years young. He was the MVP in 2014 for the Zephyrs when he pitched 22 postseason innings, including, I believe it was 9 or 10 in the finals. And he did that in a 24-hour span, maybe less than 24 hours. No balls and 1 strike. Alonso definitely a threat to steal. South Bay lost to the Saints the 9 o'clock game over on Tempe. I believe it was field 1, 6-4. But they got a pretty good outing by their starting pitcher. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Might have tried to pull that off-speed pitch or that straight change. And Pete is down, no balls and 2 strikes. Jeff Lowry with you, apmvideo.com. So glad you could be with us. Got a strong breeze blowing in from center field. Now the 0-2 pitch, and it's popped up, back of first base and playable, and a nice job by the first baseman to record the first out of the ballgame. So Barry Worthington taking care of the first out, and here he is, one of the one man who may very well have more world championships than any other Msbl World Series competitor, Wayne Williams. And another throw over. They know Augie Alonso is a threat to steal, and he's already thrown over there. Rene Hernandez, the starting pitcher for Sacramento. I think that was number 4. Tosses over to first base. First pitch to Williams, and the runner is going right on cue, and he will make it without a throw. Wayne Williams drove in the winning run in the 21 60 and over championship 2 years ago, right here at Tempe Diablo Stadium, in an extra inning win over the Motor City Firebirds. The South Bay Zephyrs, under Antone Henley, their manager, have won 5 national championships. A runner at second and 1 out. Changeup is pulled to the right side. Well, at least it's a quality at bat because he moves the runner up. And there's 2 down here in the first. Next batter up is going to be the cleanup hitter, Donnie Knoll, with a runner at third. 2 down, and the first pitch to the cleanup hitter is fouled off. Ron Martin, the Zephyrs catcher, waiting on deck, hoping for a chance to hit here in the top of the first inning. 60 and over Cactus Division, Tempe Diablo Stadium, and the delivery on this 12:30 start time is too high. 1 ball, 1 strike. .77 degrees, our game time temperature. Next pitch is outside, but it's called a strike. That was in the other batter's box, and our home plate umpire still elected to call it a strike. So now 1-2 is the count on Donnie Knoll. And Hernandez delivers, and it's outside, hoping to get the same call he had on the previous pitch. 2-2 is the count. Runner at third with 2 out. Augie Alonso dumped a single to right field, and the changeup is high, and the count is full. Well, it doesn't get much easier after this. You got Ron Martin, hard-hitting catcher, and another hard-hitting performer in Chris Means. Here's the pitch. And it's looped into right field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Augie Alonso will score, and the Zephyrs draw first blood here in the top of the first inning and lead it 1-0. Well, the cleanup hitter comes through. Might not have been the prettiest hit, but he'll take it. Wayne Williams heading over to first base to courtesy run for Donnie. That'll bring up Ron Martin. Well, with the uniform color change this year for the Zephyrs, that's the second time they have changed colors over the last 7 or 8 years. They used to be green. That's a swing and a miss. Just a straight change from starter Rene Hernandez of the Sacramento, I was going to call them the Sox, Sacramento Rays, excuse me. And this one is popped up, and the first baseman another opportunity, and he'll make the over-the-shoulder catch. That'll retire the side. But the Zephyrs get a run. They lead 1-0 after a half an inning of play from the 36th annual Msbl World Series. Well, he's affectionately known as MV Pete. Pete Cesario, right-hander, getting ready to toe the rubber against this Sacramento team that's coming in here with a record of 0-1. They lost to the Motor City Firebirds this morning 10-5 over on the auxiliary fields here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Well, Martin is not catching here today for the Zephyrs, and we'll try to verify who that is behind home plate. First pitch from Pete, in there for a called strike. It'll be John Davis, the manager of the Sacramento Rays, to start things off. And he takes a strike. Well, he and everybody else in this game is going to have to wise up to the fact that the pain on the right-handed or left-handed batter's box is part of the plate. And a swing and a miss, and 3 pitches, and Pete Cesario picks up his first strikeout with the first hitter in the lineup for Sacramento. Billy Claus, second baseman, squares the bunt and takes a strike. So it might be in the makings today of a pitcher's duel. The strike zone obviously expanded. Here's a chopping ball, and it's a foul ball, and that runs the count at no balls and 2 strikes on the Rays' second place hitter. Nobody on with 1 out on this beautiful Monday, October 30th. That one just off the expanded strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Claus. The wind, the pitch. That one skips up there. Pete goes into the wind. He rocks and deals, and a swing and a miss. It's dropped by the catcher, and the play will have to be made to first base where Olson makes the play, 2 down. Bring up third place hitter Mike Egan. A pair of strikeouts to start things off here for the Zephyrs on defense, led by Pete Cesario, the starting pitcher. That'll bring up Mike Egan, right-handed hitter, and the first pitch is a bouncing ball foul, and it's 0-1 the count. Cesario trying to set the Sacramento Rays down in order here in the first inning, and okay. I'm laughing. That was not a strike. And here's a fly ball in the right field. Antone Henley with a nice catch. That ball kind of knuckleballed him. And a 1-2-3 inning for the Zephyrs and Pete Cesario. After 1 from Tempe Diablo Stadium, the Zephyrs 1 and the Rays 0. Back here from blustery Tempe Diablo Stadium on the 30th of October. Jeff Lowry, APM Video Sports.
Number 3, Means.
Chris Means will start things off. He's an Arizona native. In fact, he helped me out on a live stream last year here at Tempe Diablo Stadium, and he's been with the team for a few years, and he will lead things off here in the second, and he'll take a first pitch called strike. Means, Olson, and Neary will be the first 3 for Antone Henley's South Bay Zephyrs. And if you're wondering where South Bay, kind of over by Carson, California, kind of a West Los Angeles area. Here's a line drive, but it's right at the first baseman. Nice catch, out number 1. Well, he's been busy here today. So Barry Worthington at first base getting the job done here for Sacramento, and the next batter up is Blaine Olson, the first baseman. The wind, the kick, the pitch, and a swing and a miss. He was fooled on that off speed. So no balls and 2 strikes on Olson. Hernandez kicks and deals, and the slider bites down and away and off the plate. 1-2 is the count. He sights a sign, and the 2-strike pitch is a bouncing ball towards the shortstop up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. That is the 3rd hit of the day for the Zephyrs, and that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. So an infield hit with 1 out. Now John Neary, runner at first and 1 out. Zephyrs lead 1-0. Got an RBI hit by their catcher, Donnie Knoll. After Augie Alonso blooped a single down the right field line, stole second, moved to third on the Wayne Williams ground out to the right side, and that led to the RBI single by Donnie. That's a wave and a miss, and it's quickly 0-2 on Neary. Rod Decker is on deck for the Zephyrs, 1 out, a runner at first. Top of the 2nd inning. Rene Hernandez, 2 strikes pitch, and it's outside, way outside, 1-2. See if he comes back inside. He stays outside, and why not? Our home plate umpire has kind of extended that plate even into the other, that left-handed batter's box. 1-2 is the count. And just under the knees, 2-2. Hernandez has given up 3 hits, has not walked a batter, nor has he struck out a batter in an inning and a third. The pitch, and it's inside, full count. Now he's run the count full at 3-2. Runner goes, it's a swing and a miss, and the throw down to second is waiting on him. And now they got him in a rundown. Olson heading back to first. He will concede, and that will be the final out. That is a double play that goes 2 to 4 to 3 to retire the side. After an inning and a half of baseball from the World Series, 1-0 South Bay. All right, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters are coming up here for Sacramento. We go to the home half of the 2nd inning. And starting pitcher Pete Cesario back on the mound. Struck out 2 and had a perfect first inning. Andy Kuzman, the 3rd baseman for the Rays, to start things off. And he comes up empty-handed, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Zephyrs under Antone Henley, 5 World Series titles. Here's a blast way back into left field, and Gaston is going to have to get on his horse. That ball goes all the way to the wall, and it should be a stand-up double, and will be for the cleanup hitter, Andy Kuzman. So Andy gave that ball a ride as we try to focus in on Andy at second base. A leadoff double. He represents the tying run for Sacramento. And he really gave that ball a ride off Pete Cesario, who hung one right over the middle part of the plate. And StatCast is telling us the exit velocity on that ball is 103 miles an hour. First pitch is fouled off to the right side, 0-1. Lynn Miller, the 5th place hitter in the lineup for the Rays. Up there with a runner in scoring position and nobody out, in the pitch. And that's going to be out of play to the right side. No balls and 2 strikes to Lynn Miller. Cesario delivers, and it's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wind up. Nope. He's going to check that runner back there. Kuzman, not a lot of speed, so. And now they got him picked off if he can lay the tag on him. And Williams. Well, he's trying to get away with something there, but it won't work. Now the 1-2 to Lynn Miller. Outside, 2-2. Not a bad selection there. Pitch selection by Pete. We're going to see if the umpire will tighten up that outer half to the right-handed hitters. That's foul. I think you've got to at least challenge and throw the ball right around the paint on that left-handed hitter batting box that's closest to the plate. I think you got to aim for that because there's a good chance you might get that call. But now the count 2-2. You got to kind of do that earlier in the count, I believe. At like 0-1 or 0-2, 1-2. Pete giving a lot of attention to that runner at second, who did not get around real well on that long double, that blast to left field to start this bottom half of the second inning. And a ground ball that started foul and then stays fair for Olson, and he'll take it to the bag. So now the tying run 90 feet away, and I call that still a quality at bat because he does advance the runner. And Tomaszewski with a high fly ball way back in the center, and it's over the head of the center fielder. The run will score to tie the game up at 1 apiece, and Tom will hold up with a long single at first. Even with the wind blowing in, Means really did not have much of a chance there for the Zephyrs. The ball was hit pretty well off the bat of Tomaszewski, and now the catcher is Scott Reeves batting. 1-1 tie here in the bottom half of the second inning. The breeze now looks like it's blowing straight in from center field, or right center field. It's changed direction several times since we got here about an hour before the first pitch. Runner at first, 1 out. The 1-1 in there for a called strike. That's the outside fastball for Cesario, and I think he's going to have to maybe stay out there quite a bit in this game. And he does, and a bouncing ball to Wayne Williams. He gets the big hop. He flips to Augie. He'll throw to first, and that's an inning-ending double play. 4-6-3. Williams, Alonso to Olson, and at the end of 2 from Tempe Diablo Stadium, we got a 1-1 tie. We'll be back in just a moment on apmvideo.com. Rod Decker will start things off, heading now to the top half of the third inning from the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Tempe Diablo Stadium, it was built in 1969 for the Seattle Pilots, who was an expansion team in the American League. 2 balls and no strikes to the first batter up for Antone Henley's South Bay Zephyrs. Two balls, 1 strike. Bottom 3 in the lineup, you got Escudero and Vecchio to follow. Swing and a miss, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Gaston Escudero, a longtime member of that, actually a LA Angels sponsored team, the Angels. I can't remember the front part of that, as this one's lifted foul and out of play to the right side, and the count holds at 2-2. Third inning of work for the starting pitcher for Sacramento, Rene Hernandez. The wind, the kick, the pitch, and the changeup is popped up, and a tough play for the catcher, and he is going to drop the ball. Almost need to do a basket catch. That ball wasn't hit high enough to kind of circle under it like a lot of catchers will do. That's just a tough catch, especially with this high sky. So Rod Decker has new life here in the top of the third. 1-1 tie here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Hernandez, 2 balls, 2 strikes to the first hitter up. And the fastball too high, full count. Payoff pitch, and he just got a piece of that one. Three balls, 2 strikes. Hernandez delivers, and that one slapped foul off the facade of the third base dugout occupied by the Zephyrs. 9, 10, and 11 hitters up here first for the Zephyrs in the top of the third inning. Hernandez kicks and deals, and strike 3 called on a borderline pitch, and for Hernandez, his second strikeout of the contest. Now Gaston Escudero, one of the great names in the Msbl World Series. He's been on APN many a times. Delivers a called strike. Hernandez, who has struck out 2 in a row. Got to strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the Zephyrs in the second. He's given up 1 run earned and 3 hits. Struck out 2, hasn't walked a batter, and Gaston was way out in front, and he's quickly behind in the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Jack Vecchio is on deck. And a pop-up that's going to be out of play. And Jack showing some good hustle, getting that foul ball, as he is the on-deck hitter for South Bay. Now the 0-2 again, and it's high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gaston Escudero. Hernandez delivers, and a chopping ball towards a shortstop, and that's a tough play. And the manager of the Sacramento Rays unable to make the play, but that would have most likely been an infield hit anyway. Escudero with good speed, getting down the line quickly. They've ruled it an infield hit. Hit number 4 for South Bay. Jack is an actor and waiting to get back to work in Hollywood. Very likable guy. Had a chance to talk to him for a little bit. He says he's got over 150 credits on, well, if you're familiar with the website IMDb, I go to it all the time. I'm always wondering somebody's name, an actor's name in a movie, or where the film location is. And Jack's done a lot of work, and he's going to be on Promised Land, a new series I think will be coming up pretty soon. It looked pretty good. I saw the previews a few weeks ago. So look for Jack on Promised Land. He takes a ball outside. Gaston is running on the pitch, and it's skied the center field, and he did not pick up the ball. And they're going to throw all the way to first, and they will get the double play. So Gaston was running on the pitch. It'll be an 8-3 double play, their second double play of the ball game, halfway through the third, and we're in a 1-1 tie on the South Bay Zephyrs television network. Third inning for starter Pete Cesario, as the Rays from Sacramento come to the plate here, home half of the third, and a 1-1 tie. First up is going to be Barry Worthington, the first baseman. He's been very busy in the field, and he takes a strike. Pete doesn't fool around out there. He gets the ball back from his catcher, and he brings it plateward, and it's 0-2. The windup and the delivery. And a ground ball up the middle, and Augie is there to make the play, and he will throw perfectly. Out number 1 here in the home half of the third inning for Sacramento. Augie Alonso, also a pitcher, I think he had a complete game a few years ago at Goodyear Ballpark on APN. Next batter up is going to be Bobby Wooden, and he takes a strike. Well, if you are a manager in this game of baseball, you love it when your pitcher is getting ahead in the count. And that's exactly what Pete has done on the first two hitters. He's went 0-2. So Wooden down, no balls, 2 strikes. Pete working very quickly, and the delivery is just off the mark. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dave Nutter is on deck for Sacramento. The 1-2. Escudero in left, Means center. You've got Antone Henley in right field behind the pitching of MV Pete Cesario. And a swing, and just got a piece of it, was Bobby Wooden. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on, and a 1-1 tie, home half of the third, and the count runs full. Now the 3-2 pitch, and outside ball 4, and a 1-out walk, and he represents the go-ahead run for the Rays. That'll bring up Dave Nutter. Final hitter in the lineup here for John Davis and his Sacramento Rays. And that one just off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. So Pete got ahead on Bobby Wooden, no balls and 2 strikes, and then 4 straight pitches out of the strike zone with the exception of the foul ball. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dave Nutter. Lifted in the air to center. Means coming on and makes the running catch. He's throwing all the way back to first. Barehanded by Olson, the first baseman, and there's 2 down here in the home half of the third inning. Oh, a fine running catch out there in center field. Actually, I'm not sure if they've swapped out. I don't know who is in center field. I'm not sure if that's Chris or not. We'll try to verify that between innings. Here's a line drive to left, and it's going to hold right up, and Escudero didn't have to move a muscle. So we got 3 in the books. We got a good pitcher's duel, a 1-1 tie from Tempe Diablo Stadium on the South Bay Zephyrs Championship Network. And Chris Means is in center field. Top of the 4th inning, South Bay, Sacramento in a 1-1 tie. Augie Alonso batting for the 2nd time. Looper, right field, and that's going to drop in for a hit. So Augie has dumped 2 singles and 2 tries. He has scored the only run for the Zephyrs, and South Bay off and running here in the top of the 4th for Pete Cesario. Hit number 5 for South Bay. Go ahead run at first base, and leadoff hitter Augie Alonso. And he's going on the first pitch, and he is going to be in without a throw, and he's got his 2nd stolen base of the day. So now Pete Cesario up there with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. And he squares to bunt and takes low for a ball. That evens the count on today's starting pitcher for South Bay at 1-1. South Bay is 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Time is called. As you get a look at the manager. And you rarely see a manager come out and talk to his third base coach, but that's exactly what Antone Henley is doing right now. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pete. And this time the ball is going to get away from the catcher, and the runner advances to third. I would say that was a wild pitch. The catcher had to really reach out to try to corral that one. So a runner at third and nobody out with Wayne Williams on deck. The pitch to Pete is high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hernandez needs a strike. And he's going to get it. A beautiful pitch on the inside part of the plate, full count. And really, I think since it's still early, and I think the Rays would definitely trade a run for an out in most cases unless it's hit right at the third baseman. The payoff pitch is high and inside, ball 4, and that's the first walk by Rene Hernandez.
Number 24, Williams.
Wayne Williams, former Philadelphia Philly farmhand back in the 80s. Spent a couple of years in the Phillies organization. He's got first and third occupied, nobody out here in the top of the 4th. And the first pitch is high and away, ball 1. So you got Alonso, the go-ahead run, 90 feet away at third, and Pete Cesario at first base with a very short lead, and it's 2-0 on Wayne Williams. And all of a sudden, Rene Hernandez is having a tough time finding the strike zone. 1-1 tie here in the top of the 4th inning. South Bay at the plate against the Sacramento Rays. And the strike called. 2 balls and 1 strike on Wayne Williams, with Indianapolis native Donnie Knoll on deck. First and third. And here's a ground ball up the middle and should be a base hit, and it is. Augie Alonso will score the second time in this game, and South Bay has a 2-1 lead, their second lead of the contest. I'll bring up the catcher for South Bay, Donnie Knoll. And a high fly ball out in the center field, playable, and that is going to be the first out of the inning. So runners will be at first and second. Lynn Miller on the catch in center field for Sacramento. Now Ron Martin. Martin popped up to the first baseman, squares the bunt, and lays it down, foul ball, third base side, and it's no balls and 1 strike on Ron Martin. Runners are at first and second. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Zephyrs lead 2-1, looking for more. And it's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ron Martin. 5th in the starting batting order here for Antone Henley's Zephyrs. And a ground ball up the middle. The second baseman steps on the bag, and the throw to first in time. And for the 3rd inning in a row, Sacramento has turned an inning-ending double play. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Zephyrs lead 2-1 on the Zephyrs Championship Network. Bottom half of the 4th inning, Pete Cesario in his 4th inning of work, and the first batter grounds 1 to Alonso. He's up. Low throwing, nope, it was a good throw, and there's 1 down as Claus is retired, 6-3. That'll bring up Mike Egan for the second time, and he takes ball 1. Flied to right field to end the home half of the 1st inning for Sacramento. Two balls and no strikes, and one of the rare times that Cesario has fallen behind in the count. Good pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Antone Henley, the manager of the Zephyrs, only 12 players on the roster, and a comebacker that Alonso has to charge and throw off balance to first. And it stays in play, fortunately, for the Zephyrs, and that'll be an infield hit. So the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Sacramento Rays, and now their cleanup hitter who crushed one. A hard line drive, 103 exit velocity, and it rolled all the way to the left field wall, and Andy Kuzman. Over to first, runner is back in. You're watching the 2023 Msbl World Series, the 36th annual event here on apmvideo.com. Another throw over by Pete, but the runner really hadn't got off the mark far enough to really get picked off. Runner at first, one out, bottom of the fourth, and Koosman was surprisingly squaring the bunt. South Bay had won the championship 2 years ago against Motor City Firebirds. It was like 18-17 in 12 or 11 innings. Runner is going, swing and a miss. The throw down the second in time. They got him, and a great tag there by Williams. Excellent throw by Donnie behind home plate, and there's two down, and Wayne's shaking up a little bit. It'll take more than that to get him out of the game. And he might have got spiked a little bit. So two down in the inning. And the next pitch is way outside, and it's 1-2 on Andy Koosman, the cleanup hitter for the Sacramento Rays, who trail it 2-1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Pete Cesario kicks and fires, and he got under that one. This is playable for Neary. Foul territory, and he lost it. Well, don't feel so bad, John, because I've seen a lot of spring training games out here, and I've seen veteran major leaguers lose it in this high sky. Just not used to playing with this kind of sky. So new life for Koosman. Can he take advantage of it? The two-strike pitch. Outside, 2-2. Zephyrs won it 2 years ago. They won it in 17. I believe they won another one in 16. 5 altogether. And this one's hammered down the line. Fair ball. And that goes all the way down into the corner, and Koosman's going to have another hard-hit double. I'll tell you what, he has really been raking in his two at-bats here. 2 balls with an exit velocity of over 100 miles an hour. Well, let's see if the Rays can take advantage of a 2-out double. And now the center fielder, the fleet-footed center fielder, Lynn Miller, digging in, and he takes a ball low. 2-out runner at second. He's the tying run. And it's 2-0. Miller grounded to Wayne Williams at second base back in the second inning. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0. Pete comes back, and a ground ball hit hard up the middle. It won't score the run, but it is a hit. 5th hit of the day for the Sacramento Rays. So runners are at first and third, and Miller representing the go-ahead run now for Sacramento. The Zephyrs led after a half an inning of play, 1-0. The Rays tied it in the bottom of the second, and then the Zephyrs came back and got a run in the third. High fly ball, Chris Means battling that high sky and the sun, and he hauls it in. So the beat goes on from Tempe Diablo Stadium. It's 2-1 Zephyrs. We head to the 5th on the APN Baseball Network. Back at Tempe Diablo Stadium, which opened in 1969, Ray Fosse hit the first home run here during a spring training game. The A's were taking on the Seattle Pilots in that contest. The late Ray Fosse just passed away, I think, earlier this year. Or actually, probably, I think it was even last year. Nonetheless, we go to the top of the 5th inning. Your totals, South Bay, as they come to the plate, 2 runs, 6 hits. They have stranded 2. Sacramento, a run on 5 hits. They have stranded 3. 5th inning of work for Rene Hernandez, and the right-hander delivers, and it's in there for a strike. Chris Means to start it off here in the top of the 5th inning as we are rolling right along. And that is strike 2 called on a pitch that looked like it was a little outside. No balls and 2 strikes. Olson and Neary to follow, and the pitch, and the changeup is fouled straight back and out of play. Chris is 0 for 1 at the plate. 5th inning of work for Rene Hernandez. Starting pitcher for the Rays, and the 2-strike pitch is in the dirt. 1-2 to Chris Means, the starting center fielder for South Bay. And the pitch. And he struck him out on a slider down and away. 3rd punch out for Rene Hernandez. 1 down here in the top of the 5th. Now the first baseman, Blaine Olson. Comes to the plate with nobody on and 1 man out here in the top of the 5th. And the first pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. Olson is 1 for 1. The 2-0 pitch, and he was swinging all the way, and he fouls it back. South Bay hoping that 2023 will bring them their 6th World Series title. 2-1, and it's off the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hernandez has struck out 3. He has walked 1 in 4 1/3 innings. As we play here in the top of the 5th inning, South Bay 2, Sacramento 1. And the 3-1 pitch is inside ball 4. A good at bat for Olson. And he is at first base with 1 out. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman, John Neary.
Number 15, Neary.
South Bay with a 2-1 lead. Got an RBI single by Wayne Williams to push across the go-ahead run in the 4th. And Neary, did he offer it that one? They're not even going to appeal. 1 ball and no strikes to him. Donnie Knoll drove in Augie Alonso with a RBI single in the 1st, and Augie has both runs scored here for the Zephyrs. Top of the 5th inning, 2-1. And Zephyrs trying to get something going with John Neary at the plate and the pitch, and he squares the bunt. That ball was way inside, and the count is even at 1-1. A beautiful day for our national pastime, 78 degrees. And with that cool breeze, it feels like it might be in the low 70s here. It's just an absolutely gorgeous day. Rene Hernandez gives up a 1-out walk. And again, John Neary trying to bunt him over with 1 out. I'm actually a little surprised. I'm kind of the mind, you use the bunt in maybe late game situations or maybe someone's really struggling at the plate, but bunting with 1 out, I think you can take yourself out of what could possibly be a bigger inning in terms of scoring runs, and a swing and a miss. So all that for nothing, and Neary goes down, and there is 2 down here in the inning. The 4th strikeout for Rene Hernandez. So there's 2 down. Both outs for the Zephyrs here in the 5th via the strikeout. And here's a smash up the middle. And if they get the force out at second, no, they will not. And that's going to go for a base hit. So 1st and 2nd for South Bay. So a clean single by Rod Decker. Gaston batting for the 2nd time. He had a base hit. 7 hits in total for South Bay, and he is a little bit early on a straight pitch on the outside part of the plate. 0-1 on Escudero, who bats here in the top of the 5th inning. Got a runner at second, a runner at first, 2 out. South Bay is 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far in this afternoon's contest. And that's low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeff Lowry coming to you from the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels, Tempe Diablo Stadium. And the 1-1 pitch, and Escudero sends a soaring fly ball into the gap, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. Here comes the runner around third. The throw missed the cutoff, and the run will score to give South Bay a 3-1 lead. So Gaston with his second hit of the ball game. Gaston with a long soaring drive to the gap in left center field, and it dropped in for an RBI hit. Now Jack Vecchio. And Jack takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Hit into an 8-6, or check that, an 8-3 double play back in the third. Back Sacramento defense the last 3 innings had inning double plays turn. He loops one to the right side. This could be trouble. The second baseman does have it and throws a little wild, and I think they called him out. They called him out, and what a play by Worthington at first, keeping the foot on, but I think we're going to have to go to New York for a replay on the Zephyrs Championship Network. Well, I just looked at the replay, and his foot did look like it was still on the bag. Good job by Worthington. First pitch is swung on and fouled out of play as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Tempe Diablo Stadium, 3-1 lead for the Zephyrs over the Sacramento Rays. MVP back out for his 5th inning of work for South Bay, and he throws a half-hearted eephus pitch for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And that ball hit him, so the leadoff hitter is aboard. So the leadoff hitter for Sacramento here in the bottom of the 5th inning is hit by a pitch. And now the Gold Glove winning first baseman Barry Worthington. And he kind of slaps that one out in the center field. Williams lined up for the fielder's choice, and they can't make the play. Means had to come a long way, so the first 2 are aboard for Sacramento here in the home half of the 5th inning. The tying run at first. So Barry Worthington's been doing it all. He's got a base hit. He's 1 for 2 at the plate and a great job in the field. So Bobby Wooden now comes up, and this might be a situation where Sacramento may ask him to lay a bunt down. He was talking to the third base coach a second ago. And he is not showing bunt, and he takes outside for ball 1. You might say, well, Jeff, is this a situation where you would bunt? And to be honest, I don't know Bobby Wooden enough. But I would say if this guy can swing the bat and he's dangerous, I just don't like the bunt. Used to. I think back in the 70s and 80s and probably a little bit in the 90s, I kind of liked teams that laid down bunts, and I thought it was sometimes even in the first inning to get a leadoff double, bunt him to third, score on anything. One ball, 1 strike, and now he shows bunt, and he's taken a strike. So he took a strike away from himself by squaring up the bunt. And he thought it was ball 2. So now Wooden down 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield kind of playing a little double play depth with Williams. A defensive alignment. Augie, the shortstop, way over towards the hole. And a swing and a miss, and that ball was biting down and in. I don't know if that was a 2-seam fastball, but nonetheless, he swung over it, and it's a strikeout, and that's a big first out here for the Zephyrs on defense. Third strikeout for Cesario, and the next batter up is Dave Nutter. Wayne Williams, you can see kind of at the top of your screen, he's not that far from the bag. But they got to protect the left side of the infield. That's a strike, and it's 1-1 on Nutter. He flied to center field. Chris Means made a nice running catch on him in the third inning. Sacramento 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and a foul ball runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners are at first and second, 1 out in this second game of the 60 and over Cactus Division Msbl World Series 2023. And the 1-2 pitch will be coming up here from starting pitcher Pete Cesario in his 5th inning of work. He's given up 6 hits. He has struck out 3. The 1-2 offering, and it's outside. Thought maybe he would chase that pitch. Let's see if Pete comes back. I think if you're a hitter here, I think Pete's probably going to stay outside and stay low. And that's exactly what he was trying to do. And at least through the first half of this game, the umpire is giving a good, I'd say maybe 2 ball lengths off the outside part of the plate to the right-hand hitters. Here's a ground ball, and he got it. It's cut off by Neary. Nice job. Wayne Williams to first. It gets away. Here comes the runner home, and the run will score. That's a situation you'd like to see the first baseman maybe go after it. So the throwing error by Williams trying to throw out the runner at first results in a run, and it's now 3-2 South Bay. That's a swing and a miss. Mike Borba. Mike Borba batting. He's been added to the bottom of the Sacramento lineup. A quick toss to first. You got a runner at first base, a run in. 3-2 Zephyrs now. So the errant throw by Wayne Williams trying to turn an inning-ending double play results in the runner from third to score. And the lead is cut to 1 at 3-2. Zephyrs on top. They led 1-0, and they've led 3-1, and now lead 3-2. We're in the home half of the 5th inning. Zephyrs have gotten good work here from Pete Cesario, the undisputed ace of this rotation. To wind the pitch, left it upstairs, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think Pete would love to get that strikeout right now and get his team back into the third base dugout. But now the 3-2 pitch, runner goes, and it is swung on and grounded foul third base side. Now the 3-2 pitch again from Pete. And a line drive into right field. That's a base hit. Antone will get it back in quickly, and the runners are at first and second. So the tying run is in scoring position. And the go-ahead run is at first base as Borba comes off the bench and keeps the bottom half of the 5th inning alive. John Davis is looking for his first hit, the manager of the Rays. He takes a strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Davis, he put himself in that number 1 spot. Tell you, if Wayne Williams had been a little bit closer to the bag at second base, and they may have him, and the throw, they did. They throw him out. Persistence paid off, and Pete Cesario picks off the runner, and that will end the inning. They get a run, they leave 2, and at the end of 5 from Diablo Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, the Zephyrs lead 3-2. Augie Alonso 2 for 2 with a pair of runs scored, and he will be the first batter up for the Zephyrs here in the top of the 6th inning. South Bay leads Sacramento 3-2 here on APN, and a good pitcher's duel between Rene Hernandez and Pete Cesario. 8 hits in total for the South Bay Zephyrs as the first pitch is outside, ball 1. 3 runs, 8 hits for South Bay, 2 runs, 7 hits for the Rays. Rene Hernandez in his 6th inning of work on a beautiful sun-splash afternoon in Tempe, Arizona. That's a strike, home of the Arizona State Sun Devils and the Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. Augie 2 for 2, a pair of singles, 2 runs, 2 steals. Trying to make it a perfect day at the plate, the 2-2 pitch. And he pops it up. And this is going to be in there for a base hit. There is nothing routine about a pop-up here today. And one of the mistakes, you got your center fielder, and it looks like your second baseman, no sunglasses. You got to have them. So Augie 3 for 3 and getting the job done as the leadoff hitter. Getting on base in all 3 of his plate appearances, and now Cesario. Hit number 9 for South Bay. And now Pete takes a strike. 9th hit of the day for South Bay. Well, he has went on both times he's been at first base in terms of stealing second base, and he's 2 for 2 in that department. Let's see if he takes off here. Hernandez knows and respects the speed of Augie Alonso. With Pete Cesario at the plate, and there he goes. And the pitch was in the dirt. Pete swung at it, and it was not a foul ball. And Augie has his 3rd stolen base of the day. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes on Pete Cesario. Nobody out. And the pitch. And strike 3 called, and Pete didn't like the call. Well, the one thing you don't want to see is Pete get thrown out of this game because he's pitching a gem. He's went 5 innings, given up 7 hits and 1 earned run. Now Wayne Williams. 5th strikeout for Rene Hernandez. And there goes the runner. He got a great jump. The throw down to third, and the third baseman wasn't even, I don't think he knew he was running. His 4th stolen base in 4 tries. As you can see, the Sacramento defense will concede the run, except maybe at third base where they're playing even with the bag. Chopper foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Wayne Williams. Drove a hard hit single, the 11th or 12th inning in that 2021 60 and over championship game here at Tempe Diablo Stadium against the Motor City Firebirds. One of the great moments in Zephyr history, the 0-2 pitch. And a high chopper to first, but it's foul. Well, you don't have to tell Wayne Williams, this is an at-bat he cannot go down on strikes. He's got to make some contact to get that runner in. 1 out, the 0-2. Oh, they're telling him to go. And now they throw the ball away, and he's going to score anyway. How about that? And it's 4-2 South Bay. So they take an RBI away, an RBI situation away from Wayne Williams, who's up there with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. It is now 4-2. 1 out and the 2-strike pitch. Popped him up. Yeah, it looks like Antone Henley might be coming up here for Martin. And again, the 1-2 to Wayne Williams. Strike three called. Second caught looking in the inning, and there's two down. Now the catcher, Donnie Knoll. And a ground ball that's barehanded by Hernandez. Nice play. He'll fire to first. But South Bay gets a big insurance run here. We go to the home half of the sixth inning, and the South Bay Zephyrs lead Sacramento 4-2. We'll be back from Tempe Diablo in just a moment. Pete Cesario coming out for his sixth inning of work. The workhorse and undisputed ace of the Zephyrs pitching staff here in 2023 World Series. The Zephyrs coming off a Las Vegas championship a few days ago. Now got their sights on an Msbl World Series championship, and the first pitch to the manager of Sacramento, a called strike. Davis is 0 for 2. He was at the plate when the runner got picked off at second, and here's a ball hit softly to the right side. Williams made a nice play on that. That ball had a lot of backspin on it, and there's one down. Now Billy Claus squaring to bunt. He takes a strike. He's 0 for 2. 2 runs on 7 hits for Sacramento. 4 runs and 9 hits, as this one is lined to third. Fielded on a big hop, and 2 quick outs for Pete here in the bottom of the 6th. John Neary. Now the 2-out hitter is Mike Egan. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. 4-2 South Bay as Sacramento bats here in the home half of the 6th inning. Strike 2 called, and that was probably his best fastball we've seen so far. So the velocity not going down, but it's going up for the 59-year-old right-hander. The 0-2. And he tried to overthrow that one maybe a little bit. Came out of his mechanics a bit. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Both teams losing their 9 a.m. game over on the auxiliary field here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. So it's kind of a pivotal game already. You'd like to finish the day 1-1, and one of these teams should, barring a tie. And it's a slow roller to the first baseman. Pete getting over there quickly, covers the bag nicely. Just a textbook play, and that'll retire the side. So we are heading to the 7th inning. The Zephyrs clinging to a 2-run lead on APN on the Zephyrs Championship Network. Manager Antone Henley will come to the plate as his team leads by a score of 4-2 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. We were tied at 1 apiece, but the Zephyrs got out to an early 1-0 lead in the first, and they have not been headed since. So Rene Hernandez in his 7th inning of work, and he hits Antone Henley on the first pitch. So the leadoff hitter is aboard. Now Means looking for his first hit. Well, it's been a good pitcher's duel. Hernandez has given up only a couple of earned runs in this game. And here's a ground ball up the middle to shortstop Fields. He'll flip to second for 1, and the throw to first, that's a double play. That is the 4th double play by the Rays in this game, 2 down. So a nice job by Davis at shortstop, and then Billy Claus with a tremendous turn. So there's 2 down in the inning, and here is Olson. Swing and a foul, and it's 0-1. Olson has singled, walked, and scored a run. No balls and one strike to the first baseman. Change up in there, catches the outside corner. No balls, two strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 7th, South Bay leading it 4-2. They've had RBIs from Escudero, Knoll, and Wayne Williams. That's too high, and it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. And it's high and away, 2-2 from Rene Hernandez, starting pitcher today for Sacramento. Sacramento and the West LA South Bay Zephyrs, and a bomb into deep left field. That ball is going to get by the left fielder and go all the way close to the warning track, and that'll be a stand-up double. So a hard hit, 2-base hit by Blaine Olson. He's been perfect at the plate. Now John Neary, the third baseman, bats with a runner at second and 2 out. Well, let's see if they can pick up that run with 2 out. And the fastball is too high. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes on John Neary. And that was a called strike. Thought I heard it hit the ground. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Neary, and he's looking for his first hit. Fouls it straight back, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. A 2-out double by Blaine Olson keeps the 7th inning alive for South Bay. The 1-2 pitch, changeup is too high, and it's 2-2. And ready with the next pitch, and here it is, and strike 3 called. He got him. So South Bay fails to score in the top of the 7th. We're heading to the 7th inning stretch from Tempe Diablo Stadium. Tempe Diablo Stadium, bottom half of inning number 7. We got a good pitcher's duel between Rene Hernandez and MV Pete Cesario, who throws that eephus pitch in there, but it was taken high for ball 1. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Sacramento. 2 balls and no strikes. Billy Claus, Mike Egan, and then Andy Kuzman. And here's a ball foul, first base side. Well, I know Pete really needs to bear down and get these first 2 hitters up, because Andy Kuzman has crushed the ball on him. Andy is 2 for 2 with 2 long, hard-hit doubles. 3-1. And that one driven foul. Full count. Check that. This is Andy Kuzman. Excuse me. Andy Kuzman to start things off. It is 4, 5, and 6 with Lynn Miller and Tomaszewski. And he hits this one hard in the left field, and at least he held him to a single this time, and Andy Kuzman is 3 for 3. So that brings a tying run to the plate. And this is Mike Baker batting for the first time. Runner at first, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Strike. So Baker pinch hitting for Lynn Miller, or at least taking his batting spot. I doubt they'll take Miller out from center field. And this one's fouled straight back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on him. Pete ahead in the count. Comes back, and this one is fouled back. Good job of hitting with 2 strikes. Cesario looks in for the sign, the pitch, and this one is popped up. And this is out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first, nobody out. Tying run at the plate and the pitch. Strike 3 called outside corner. I'll tell you, that's one of the best, one of the quality pitchers we have seen in this game from Pete, and that was clutch, 1 down. 4 strikeouts for Cesario. Quick toss over to first base. The runner is back in. Tomaszewski has singled in a run. He has flied to center field, and he takes outside for ball 1. 4-2 Zephyrs as Sacramento bats here in the bottom half of inning number 7. Strike 2 called. Wow. I'll tell you, if I'm Pete, I'm throwing the pitch in the same spot. You can't hit it. It was in the other batter's box. Instead, he comes right back and delivers one right down the middle. 0-2 is the count. Another 2-strike pitch from Pete Cesario. And it's popped foul and out of play. The 0-2. High fly ball out into left field. Gaston can't get there. Well, a pretty good battle between Cesario and Tomaszewski. And this one is hit to Williams. He got the big convenient hop. He goes second one, throw to first, and a double play. A sensational play as Augie Alonso had to negotiate the runner coming in. And Wayne Williams got a very convenient hop to start an inning-ending double play. We go to the 8th. It's 4-2 Zephyrs on the Zephyrs Championship Network. Hey, getting a look at the manager of the Zephyrs, Antone Henley. He has 1 plate appearance. He got hit by a pitch. And his team is up by 2 behind the pitching of Pete Cesario. But almost equal to the task has been Rene Hernandez, who comes out for his 8th inning of work. Rod Decker to start things off. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Jeff Lowry with APM Video Sports and Tempe Diablo Stadium. And you're watching the 36th Annual Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. First pitch high and tight, ball 1. Zephyrs got a run in the first, added single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and lead 4-2 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. A pitcher's duel between Rene Hernandez and Pete Cesario. Game 3 of the Major League Baseball World Series being played right here in the downtown Phoenix area. First World Series hosted by the city of Phoenix in 22 years. Here's a hard hit ball, but right at the shortstop, he's got it. Long throw across. And a nice play by John Davis, 1 down. The manager of the Sacramento Rays, Escudero, is 2 for 2 and has 1 of the 3 RBIs by South Bay. The other run scored on a throwing error. And a wave and a miss. Gaston has been out in front several times in his 3rd at bat, way out in front of that pitch, which is an indication he might be sitting on a fastball, the 0-1. And that pitch is low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Escudero. Bats with nobody on and 1 out here in the top of the 8th. His team up 4-2. Chopper. It's going to be a tough play, and safe again. Another infield hit for Escudero. Hit number 11 for South Bay. Now Vecchio. Jack looking for his first hit. Working man's actor in Hollywood. He's been credited as he lines one to right, but it's going to hold up for the right fielder. And this time, Escudero gets back to first base safely. If you remember last time Jack was up at the plate, he hit a fly ball to center field, and Gaston just simply never picked up on the ball. Well, here's one of the stars of the game, Augie Alonso. He's 3 for 3. He's 3 for 3 and has 3 runs scored in the game. Escudero dives back safely. Let's see if Escudero might be taking off here. There's 2 outs here in the inning. And another throw over, and he has to dive back in to get ahead of the throw. So Decker grounds a short, an infield hit by Escudero. He's at first base. And a fly ball to right field by Vecchio. I think he's going. He is. And it's swung on and missed. And the throw down to second, not in time. Stolen base number 5 on the day for the South Bay Zephyrs as they continue to be very aggressive on the base paths. Alonso 3 for 3 at the plate. You got a runner at second and 2 outs. South Bay is 2 for 9 in this game with runners in scoring position. Check that, 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And now 2 strikes on Alonso. He also has 4 stolen bases in the game, 4 of the 5 for the South Bay Zephyrs. The 1-2. And Hernandez missed way outside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 8th inning, 4-2 Zephyrs. A check of the runner at second and the pitch. And it's foul. One of Alonso's stolen bases of the 4 was at third base. The 2-2. Strike 3 called, and that will do it. So we are heading to the home half of the 8th. A 2-run lead for South Bay as they return to the field on defense. You're watching APN Video and the South Bay Zephyrs Championship Network. Well, we got a new hitter coming up. It's going to be Todd Bunkley to start the home half of the 8th inning. The Sacramento Rays trailing Antone Henley and his South Bay Zephyrs 4-2 here, bottom half of 8. Pete back out, inning number 8. And the first pitch is swung on and a ground ball, charging Alonso, off balance throw to first, and a nice job by Olson. He'll tag the runner as he goes by, and that's out number 1. Augie Alonso that was an outstanding play. Now Worthington. He takes strike 1 called. We're in a 60 and over age group here, 60 and over Cactus. Game 2 for both these teams. And this is a base hit up the middle. Clean single by Worthington. Now they're going to throw to first, but not in time. So Barry continues to get the job done, his second hit of the day, and he's played a very good first base. That is the 9th hit off Pete Cesario, and now a line drive into right field, and that's a base hit, and they're at first and second. They got the tying run aboard. So Bobby Wooden wasting absolutely no time as he drives a clean single into right field. Exit velocity right around 93 miles per hour. That'll bring up Dave Nutter, final hitter in the starting lineup for John Davis and the Sacramento Rays. 1 out, runners at first and second. The runner at first, the tying run, the pitch, outside ball 1. Nutter has flied out. He's reached on a fielder's choice. Bottom of the 8th. Sacramento batting and trailing 4-2 here on apmvideo.com. And the 1-1 is lined into left field. That's a base hit. And so the last 3 hitters have reached base. 3 straight singles off Pete Cesario. Nobody loosening up for South Bay. So I'll prompt Donnie to go out there, just give maybe Pete a little breather here. Well, both these teams have turned in quite a few double plays in this game, and right now that would be the primary concern for the Zephyrs defense is to, well, are you going to have a play? Are you going to bring the infield in this situation and try to prevent that runner from scoring, or you play them back and hopefully you get maybe a ground ball double play? And we'll see the approach here by Cesario, if he'll try to keep the ball down in the strike zone and try to induce a ground ball double play. So the bases are loaded. Tying run at second, and the first pitch is in there for a called strike. John Davis, let's see, this is actually Borba. Batting for the second time, way outside, and a nice job by Donnie behind the plate. Saved a run there, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike here in the bottom half of inning number 8. Pitch, swing and a miss, sinking fastball, 1-2. Yeah, we were saying the Diamondbacks hosting their first World Series in 22 years. 2001 was the only time. Now the 2-strike pitch, and he grounds it foul. Last game, World Series game to be played on Arizona soil was November 5th, 2001. Here's the 2-strike pitch, and it's bounced foul again. It was Curt Schilling and Roger Clemens in Game 7. The Diamondbacks scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The last one scored Matt Williams on a bloop single that barely got into the outfield over the head of Derek Jeter off the bat of Luis Gonzalez, and Randy Johnson, who pitched 2 innings of scoreless relief, won his 3rd game. Here's a line drive. Augie's got it. He's going to take it to the bag, and that's a double play to retire the side. Boy, the Zephyrs got a break right there, and at the end of 8, they lead 4-2. All right, Pete Cesario will start things off. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and what a big double play to end the 8th inning. The runner, I think, lost track of the amount of outs there were. There were only 1 out, and a line drive to Alonso, and he took it to the bag. And that's our Marucci big play of the day so far. I mean, that was key. But still anybody's ball game as we go to the 9th. South Bay batting. They're in the dark blue and black uniforms, and they lead it 4-2. We were tied at the end of 2 innings at 1 until the top of the 4th, and South Bay has led ever since. Cesario pops it up, and the pitcher, Rene Hernandez, and he cannot make a play on it. That is, I don't think anybody on the infield saw where that ball was. So that will go for a base hit for Pete Cesario, and now Wayne Williams comes to the plate. Wayne drove in that go-ahead run back in the 4th inning with a single. He's 1 for 3, and he's made some big plays in the field. Pete with good speed at first as Wayne squares the bunt, takes high, ball 1. 9th inning of work for starter Rene Hernandez for Sacramento. He wants to complete what he started here today from Diablo Stadium in Tempe. The 1-0. And a swing and a foul. Well, Antone Henley has been sending his base runners in this game. Been very aggressive, but Pete doesn't have much of a lead. Here's a bunt, third base side, and a very good one. And they are not going to throw him out. Wayne Williams beats out the bunt, and you got runners at first and second, and the Zephyrs could really use an insurance run or two here, leading by 2 in the top of the 9th. Well, this could be a bunt situation here. Donnie Knoll, 1 for 3. He does square to bunt, but fouls it off. Yeah, I was talking earlier in the game that I've kind of personally, I don't like the bunt because I think it can take you out of a bigger inning. But there are certain situations. And here's a looper out in the center field, and it's going to be caught. So a nice running catch by Lynn Miller out in center field. He was really playing shallow. So that's the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. So now Antone Henley for the second time saw one pitch in his first at bat, which was back in the 7th inning, and it grazed his leg. 2 on, 1 out. And he went after the first one, popped up, first base side, it's out of play. Now, I was getting ready to say about the bunt situation, I didn't think that was a bad idea to maybe try to lay down a bunt, especially when you got one of your best hitters coming up next in Antone Henley. But they only tried it on the first offering, and then 0-1, he pops out to center. And Antone takes high. Good eye. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rene Hernandez on the mound for Sacramento. We're in the top of the 9th. South Bay got the first 2 guys aboard. And he takes low. And again, a good eye. 2 balls and 1 strike. The one thing about Antone up there, he does not get cheated. You call it an angry swing. And that was an angry swing, and he fouled it off. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Henley batting for the second time. Said all he did in game 1 today over at the auxiliary field was walk. And he chops this one foul, but he wants to get a hit here and add an insurance run to the tally. Well, he's looked at 5 pitches so far from Hernandez. I would be kind of shocked if Rene throws him anything. I would be surprised if he throws him a fastball. 2-2. And a big-time breaking ball. Man, that might have been the best breaking pitch he's had all day, and there's 2 down. So 2 down in the inning, and now Chris Means, the center fielder. And now South Bay will need a 2-out clutch hit to get another insurance run here in the top of the 9th inning. They lead 4-2. Pete Cesario at second, Wayne Williams at first. And a ground ball towards the hole, knocked down by the shortstop. The throw, not in time, and it gets away. Here comes Pete to the plate. No one's covering home, and he will score without a throw, and it's 5-2. Well, initially it was a fine defensive play by John Davis, but the throw was a little high. Runners are at second and third, so a big insurance run. It's going to go as a base hit and a throwing error. No RBI for Chris Means. And right now, I think if you're Blaine Olson, and he may not realize this as he fouls one back and he's down 0-2. If you're Olson, you want to kill a little time here. Your starting pitcher has thrown 8 innings. He's pushing 60 years of age. And you'd like to maybe give him a chance to take a quick breather over there on the bench. But Olson is down, no balls and 2 strikes. He's been on base all 3 times, and he looks at a 3rd strike, and that will take care of the Zephyrs here in the top of the 9th inning. But they get a big insurance run. They have a 3-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th. You're watching the 36th annual Msbl World Series from Tempe Diablo Stadium. 5-2 Zephyrs, 10 strikeouts for Rene Hernandez, who pitched to Jim. We'll see if Sacramento can equalize here in the bottom of the 9th. Well, the afternoon is over for starting pitcher Pete Cesario, and he's going to give way to Wayne Williams. Pete will go in and take over at second base for Wayne. So Williams, one of those players, 26, 28. We've lost count of the national championships this guy has won in this tournament. So Williams coming in, trying to save it for MVP. Dave Kephart batting for the first time, and he swings at the first pitch. Williams coming on, can't get it. He's going to field it and throw him out at first. Can you believe it? And now they're saying foul ball. Okay. Well, rewind your video for the replay, folks. That was awfully close. Augie Alonso somehow got the ball and rolled it back to Wayne Williams. No balls, 1 strike on Dave Kephart, longtime MSBL veteran. Chopper foul. So he's down, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the manager of Sacramento, John Davis, on deck. Nonetheless, what a tremendous defensive play by Wayne Williams. Wayne wanted that call but did not get it. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Sacramento at the plate. First batter up is Kephart. No balls, 2 strikes, or rather 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the changeup is going to be fielded on a big hop. Nice play by Alonso, out number 1. Augie has played a sensational shortstop here today for South Bay. Sometimes I almost feel like some of you guys are getting better with age. John Davis. And that is a topic of discussion because I think when this tournament started, a lot of guys, 36 years ago hadn't played baseball in many years. I think that's the case with still a lot of people. And you're a little rusty to start things off, and then you play a few years at the MSBL World Series and with your team back home, and Unlike Major League Baseball, where guys start getting in their mid-30s, late 30s, their skills are diminishing, it's almost opposite with the MSBL. Here's a bouncing ball up the middle. Here's Augie. He bare hands, throws, and safe. But what a tremendous effort by the South Bay shortstop. That ball took a bad hop on him. So Davis gets an infield hit. He is aboard with one man out. Billy Kloss looking for his first hit of the ball game. 12 hits now for Sacramento. 11 coming against starter Pete Cesario, who is in line for the win if Wayne Williams can close it out here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. The first pitch. That's a strike. And I'll say it again, if you're going to get that pitch called, I'd stay out there if I'm pitching, if I'm Wayne Williams. No balls, one strike, and the curve is fouled straight back. A huge fire way out beyond the center field fence. Hopefully that will be contained pretty soon. The two-strike pitch on Billy Kloss, and here it is, and he went outside, and Billy took it down the line. A good job of hitting there, and he stays alive to see another pitch. So again, no balls and two strikes. Runner at first and one man out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Sacramento at the plate, trailing by 3, and there are loops out in the left field, and it's going to drop in for a hit. Hit number 12 for the Rays. Actually, that is the 13th hit for the Sacramento Rays. Now Mike Egan, who represents the tying run. Swing and a miss. He went after the high cheese and came up empty. So no balls and one strike. First and second, one out. Do the Zephyrs have another double play up their sleeve? They could use one right now with one out in the bottom of the ninth. And a high chopper to the first base side. The only play will be at first. And a nice job by Olson. He out-hustled the runner to the bag, and now there is 2 down. So the last hope for the Rays is Glenn Vaughn. So what happened to Andy Kuzman, who crushed the ball 3 times today, 3 for 3, and he's not even batting. I wonder if there was an injury, because he did not have a courtesy runner his first 2 times up when he crushed 2 doubles. Then he had a single his last time up. That was back in inning number 7, and they did send out a courtesy runner. 1 ball and no strikes. Glenn Van, the batter, with runners at second and third. And here's a line drive into left field, and that ball is going to get down, and that will be at least a 2-run single. Here comes a throw to second. They may have a play, and they throw it away, but fortunately backed up by the first baseman. So a 2-run double, and Van comes off the bench. The cleanup spot is 4 for 4 for Sacramento, and the tying run is at second base. Sacramento now 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and I think Wayne Williams just isn't feeling all that well. And Augie Alonso is going to come on and try to save it. With the tying run at second, we'll take a break. The Zephyrs 5 and Sacramento 4. All right, back here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Well, it's up to Augie Alonso, and you just wonder what kind of a command he will have. He's kind of thrown into this situation and a little cold, so we'll see if he comes out throwing strikes. We'll watch that closely, as Lynn Miller, the center fielder, will be the first batter he will face with 2 out and the tying run at second. So the Zephyrs lead 5-4. They've given up 2 runs. A 2-run hit by Glenn Van coming off the bench. The first pitch is high. And pitchers will tell you at the major league level, coming in the middle of an inning is a lot tougher than starting an inning. And here's a looper. Back is short. Could be trouble, base hit. Here comes the runner around third, and they throw to second. I think they had a play at the plate, and the game is tied. So Lynn Miller comes up with an RBI hit. And we're all even here in the bottom of the 9th inning at 5 runs apiece. A 3-run home half of the inning. And now Tomaszewski with the winning run at first base. And it's 2-0. So Augie got behind, 1 ball, no strikes to Miller. He dumped it into left field, but I think Gaston should have at least hit the cutoff man to home plate, which would have been Wayne Williams. I think you at least got to try and at least get it to the cutoff man, and then it's up to your catcher to say, either cut it or throw a home as the runner goes. And this one's popped up on the infield. The umpire is in the way, and Pete couldn't make the play, and it falls in for a hit. And really, the first baseman probably did not have to battle the sun as much as the second baseman, but it fell in. It wasn't hit all that high, so a couple of bloops here, and Sacramento has the winning run in scoring position. I'll bring up Scott Reeves with a chance to win this game here in the bottom of the 9th, and he takes low, ball 1. The winning run at second, 2 out. 3 runs have scored for Sacramento, a 5-5 tie. Augie Alonso trying to push it to the 10th. Ground ball short, and it's fielded there by Neary. He throws to second, and we are heading to the 10th. "66-year-old Rene Hernandez is coming out for his 10th inning of work, trying to get a complete game and a win for the Sacramento Rays. We're in a 5-5 tie, top of the 10th inning here, in the 36th Annual World Series. Well, the Zephyrs have only scored a total of 9 runs through their first 18 innings of play of this World Series. And 3 of the runs in this one are unearned. Bunt, and a good one, and that's going to be an infield hit. John Neary lays a perfect bunt down third base side, and he is aboard representing the go-ahead run. So Rod Decker is the batter. Runner at first, 11 hits now for the Zephyrs. The Zephyrs took the lead in the 4th on a Wayne Williams RBI hit and held that lead until the bottom of the 9th inning when Sacramento just put 3 on the board. Neary, good speed at first base. I don't think Antone Henley is going to be bashful here in sending that runner. And Hernandez knows that. Decent lead at first base. He does not go, and here's a bunt, and that's a good one. Barehanded by the third baseman, and the throw, there's no throw, and back-to-back bunt singles. How about that? And runners are at first and second. You might see a third bunt here. And this one might be for a sacrifice. Escudero has a couple of infield hits. And I think that's Glenn Marshall out there at third, if I'm not mistaken. Escudero 3 for 3 at the plate. Let's see if they have him swing away. First baseman coming way down the line. He bunts, and this is fair. This could be trouble at first, and no play, and no one was there to cover the bag. I'll tell you what, I mean, there is no way you're going to have a play at second on that bunt. And the second baseman's got to get over there, and Escudero with 3 infield hits is 4 for 4, and the bases are loaded. Now Jack Vecchio. Well, I wonder what the sign was. Marshall at third base coaching was yelling at Vecchio to step out of the box and receive the sign. The bases are loaded. I would imagine you're swinging away. And he does, and he lines one into right, a base hit. 1 run is going to score. They'll hold the second runner. The bases remain loaded, and the Zephyrs lead 6-5. Jack Vecchio with a clutch single here in the top of the 10th, and the Zephyrs lead for the third time here today. The Zephyrs have 3 bunt singles to start the inning. And now you're going to get a challenge by the Sacramento Rays, and I don't know what they're going to challenge. There was no changes to the lineup. And now Augie Alonso working on a 3 for 4 day at the plate. Not really sure what this discussion is about. Antone Henley wants to get to the bottom of this. As we keep it right here, bases loaded. Still nobody out. We're in the top of the 10th inning. The Zephyrs lead it 6-5. Augie, one of the top hitters on this Zephyrs team. The infield is drawn in. Hernandez in his 10th inning of work at age 66. He bounces one up there, and the run will score. It's a 2-run 10th for the Zephyrs, and now lead 7-5. 1 ball and no strikes. Now second and third. And it's in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, we're still about 6 minutes away from the 3-hour time limit on this game. And here's a chopper to the shortstop. They'll hold the runner and throw to first. And the out is made for out number 1. Well, Pete Cesario coming up. He had a kind of a sun base hit. He hit a pop-up on the infield, and nobody could find it in the high sky, that high blue sky, and the big sun. And now another pitch gets away, and the Zephyrs are back up by 3. 8-5. Gaston Escudero scoring from third. Kind of a heartbreak inning here for the Sacramento Rays. I mean, they battled for 3 in the bottom of the 9th, sent it into extra innings. 3 bunt singles. Vecchio with the big RBI hit. And Pete swings and misses. And the catcher, I think Pete might have, on the swing and the follow-through, got a piece of the catcher. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hopefully Scott Reeves is okay. You got a runner at third. 1 out. And Pete going after a pitch. Looked like maybe a slider down and away. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's walked. He has the infield hit. And he is 1 for 3 at the plate. Zephyrs have countered with 3 here in the top of the 10th. What is it with me and the Zephyrs? I have these crazy games all the time, and he loops a base hit up the middle, and the 4th run will score. Do they get him at first? Safe. So Vecchio scores on the RBI hit by Pete Cesario. 5 hits in the inning. Now Wayne Williams comes to the plate. He has 2 hits. The Zephyrs are 5 for 14 with runners in scoring position this afternoon. Runner at first, 2 out, the pitch. Fouled straight back. The 0-1. And a smash and caught by the first baseman, and that will retire the side. But the damage was done to the tune of 4 runs. The Zephyrs leave one, and at the end of 9.5 innings of play, South Bay leads 9-5. We'll be back with the bottom of the 10th in just a moment. All right, we go down to the bottom half of the 10th inning. Game 2 for both of these teams of round-robin play. 60 Cactus. And the Msbl World Series on APN Sports. Robert Gomez from Tucson, Arizona, and a friend of APN Sports, comes to the plate, batting for the first time, and they're going to try to utilize the good speed. 60 years young. Leading things off, Augie Alonso in his second inning of relief work, in for Wayne Williams. That has been a strike all day long. I think Augie really wanted that one. That would have taken care of Robert Gomez. 2 balls, 2 strikes as he starts the bottom of the 10th. 9-5 Zephyrs as Sacramento bats here in the bottom of the 10th. Pitch. He lost him. We talked about coming into a middle of an inning for a reliever, very difficult. And you'll hear a lot of major leaguers, a lot of them don't like coming in during the middle of the inning. Now, Alonso came in for Wayne Williams, who I don't know if he was just not feeling it. Bobby Wooden batting, takes outside ball 1. And then the first batter he faces here in the 10th, he draws a walk, and that's the last thing you want to see after you built a 4-run extra inning lead. That's a strike. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Wooden. He had a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. We're in the bottom of the 10th. 9-5 Zephyrs are in the field. 2-1. Augie working very quickly. Might want to see him maybe just slow down the pace just a bit. And a broken back ground ball to the right side. Pete the second, and on to first, and the ball gets away. Well, the most important thing is they did get the lead runner. So there's 1 down here in the bottom of the 10th. Randy Detman batting for the first time. Sacramento batting here in the home half of the 10th inning, trailing by 4 with a runner at first and 1 out. Fastball catches the inside corner, 0-1. That's what Antone Henley wanted to see from his pitcher. Get out in front in the count. And now the 0-1. Change up and a beauty. Nice breaking pitch over the outside part of the plate. And he's ahead of the pinch hitter, Randy Detman. 63 years young, right-handed hitter, the 0-2, and that skips away. Runner will take second. That was merely a case of just trying to throw it right through your backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. And he blew it by him. Couldn't catch up with the high cheese. And there's 2 down here in the inning. Borba batting for the 3rd time in the last hope for Sacramento. As they bat here in the home half of the 10th, down by 4, runner at second, 2 outs. 1 ball and no strikes. And it's even, 1-1. So the Zephyrs took a 3-run lead into the bottom of the 9th. Sacramento tied the game, sent it to the 10th, only to give up 4 in the top of the 10th. And the Zephyrs now in the field leading 9-5. Jeff Lowry with you, apmvideo.com. Pete Cesario picked off a runner earlier in the game at second base. 2 balls and 1 strike. As Alonso trying to close it out in relief of Williams. Swing and a miss. And the count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Borba, 67 years old. Down to his last strike, the team's last out. And the 2-2. Struck him out swinging, and those Zephyrs hold on and win it 9-5. Augie Alonso will actually be the winning pitcher in this game, as he does a nice job here in the 10th inning. He also had 3 hits in the game, and definitely one of our Marucci players of the day. We give a lot of credit to Pete Cesario, who pitched the front 8 and gave up just 2 runs, a sensational job. Rene Hernandez for the Sacramento Rays got a complete game, 10 innings at the ripe old age of 66. So our final score, 9-5. The Zephyrs go to 1-1. They drop Sacramento to 0-2. So for our entire outstanding crew, Jeff Lowry from Tempe Diablo Stadium saying, so long, everybody.